Hi class, in this video I will be discussing my work at Wardensville Garden Market and GrowNYC's composting project. Wardensville Garden Market is a small sustainable farm in West Virginia. A day at Wardensville included a morning harvest where we would pick their summer produce like tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, etc. After we would do this, we would bring bins of produce to the washroom and wash and store the vegetables in a walk-in refrigerator. The rest of the day included tasks like weeding plant beds, removing potato bugs and other pests by hand, pruning tomato vines, trellising cucumber plants, and things like this. This is important because we didn't use any artificial fertilizers or pesticides on our produce. It's all done manually. At Wardensville, we planted several of our crops in these high tunnels that you see in this image. In these high tunnels, produce is protected from the elements like rain or the cold in the summer, and it's a great way to just protect produce from the elements. Another important method used at Wardensville is succession planting, which basically just means taking advantage of the seasons to switch crops as the temperature changes. An example of how you can do succession planting can be seen in this little chart. And in addition to succession planting, Wardensville also employed the use of cover crops to prevent erosion and keep the nutrient content of the soil high year-round. Throughout this semester, I have been working with an organization called GrowNYC. They organize the farmers markets throughout the city, and they work with the Department of Sanitation of New York to collect food scraps, both from residential areas and also these green markets, to be taken to a composting processing facility in Governor's Island called Earth Matter. After completing about an hour-long orientation, I was able to go to green markets and volunteer with the composting section, and there I would oversee the food scraps people were depositing into the bins, remove any sort of non-biodegradable material like rubber bands and things like that. I volunteered at 3 different green markets. In this video you can see the annual pumpkin smash, which allows people to bring their leftover pumpkins to the green market, let the kids smash the pumpkins, and that facilitates the composting process because the food needs to be broken down a little bit, and it's also just fun for the kids. After a full day of composting, the food scraps go to a facility in Governor's Island called Earth Matter. And here they use a couple different types of composting processes. One is called mesophilic and the other is called thermophilic. And the main difference between these two methods is temperature. And here in this image you can see the cycle food scraps go to actually become compost. At Governor's Island in Earth Matter, they use chickens, and you can see the chickens in this picture, to eat and break down some of the food scraps. Their droppings are very nutritious for the soil. The last thing that happens after the compost is processed is that Earth Matter distributes it to different sustainable farms in and around New York. So after volunteering with GrowNYC for a couple of months, they named me their Volunteer of the Month in their newsletter, and you can see that in this image. That's a screenshot of the email they send. Anyways, that is all for today, and thank you so much for watching and listening.